Good morning to you, Sean. Well, that curfew on Kyiv comes as Russia intensifies the attacks throughout the country.
That's right. There have been fresh bombardments across the country, including in the capital, Kyiv. Russia has intensified its attacks on that city. This morning, just before dawn, 2 large bomb blasts rang out. There were 2 attacks on a metro station and on several apartment buildings. Buildings were set ablaze, people were trapped under the rubble, and at least 5 people were killed. That city has now entered a 35-hour curfew, with the mayor warning that it's now in a difficult and dangerous moment. Russian troops have nearly encircled the city and they're closing in slowly. We've been worried, or Ukrainian officials have been worried for days that the offensive on Kyiv will be renewed, and that appears to be happening.
It's clear that Ukraine is not a member of NATO. We understand it. We are adequate people regarding our understanding. We've heard for years about open doors, but we've already heard that we won't be able to join it. It's the truth and it's necessary to admit it. I'm glad that our people start understanding it and counting on themselves and our partners who help us.
Now, that was the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky speaking from the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, where, as we know, he's been refusing to evacuate since the start of the war. He was talking there in a televised meeting with Ukrainian military officials, telling them about negotiations with Russia, which are ongoing. He said, quote, that they're going pretty well, pretty good, he said. And in that grab that you just heard, he was also saying that Ukraine may need to give up on its goal of joining NATO. One of Russia's key demands has been for Ukraine to never join the NATO military alliance. And Ukraine's president there appeared to be showing signs of cooling on his goals to do that, and of a compromise with Russia. Now, President Zelensky also addressed Canada's parliament today, again calling for Western countries to enforce a no-fly zone, and telling parliamentarians there, via video link, I should say, that nearly 100 children have been killed so far in the war.
And Sean, just over the last few hours, we've got this developing story. Ukrainian officials saying that staff and patients in a Mariupol hospital are actually being held hostage.
That's right. Reports emerging of more horror in that besieged eastern city of Mariupol. That's the site of the greatest humanitarian crisis in the war, and it has just been bombed for more than 2 weeks. Entire residential areas destroyed. That was where a maternity hospital was bombed last week, causing shock across the world. Today, it's been revealed by local officials that an intensive care hospital has also been bombed. And the regional governor says that Russian troops are holding hostage about 400 people, more than 400 people, including patients and doctors in the basement of that hospital. He says that they have been unable to leave for days. Buildings are on fire outside, and they can't leave because there's heavy shooting outside, and those that choose to leave face being shot themselves. Russian forces are refusing to allow them to leave. It seems that Vladimir Putin's campaign to subject this country to mass suffering and brutalise them into giving in just keeps going.
Sean RUBINSZTEIN-DUNLOP, thank you.